Did you know the tech millionaires are ranking embryos in spreadsheets to pick the smartest baby? Would you do the same? In Silicon Valley, you can now buy one. Today, on the Grey Matter Files and Lies, we are diving into a budding industry that promises wealthy parents, a healthy children with higher IQs, and asking the hard questions behind it. Here's the story. A growing number of wealthy parents are turning to embryo screening services during IVF. They pay tens of thousands of dollars, up to $50,000 in some cases, in the hope of picking a baby with advantages that only the wealthy can buy. Startups like Nucleus Genomics and Herasight are offering services that claim to screen embryos for health risks and even future intelligence. They call it genetic optimization. In the heart of tech culture land, Silicon Valley executives are not just hiring matchmakers for smart partners. Some are using spreadsheets to weigh off Alzheimer's risk against 5 extra IQ points when choosing an embryo. One reporter described a Google spreadsheet with rows for embryos, columns for predicted IQ, cancer risk, Alzheimer's risk, and then the embryo with the highest total score gets chosen. It's like clearing a cutoff score even before the soul begins its journey on this earth. And why? Some of these parents believe that giving their child a genetic head start is a way to position them for the future, especially in a world threatened by AI and deep tech. Yet the question looms, is this science or luxury wish fulfillment? The reality is that the science is much weaker than the marketing. While monogenic disorders, example, sickle cell anemia, cystic fibrosis, Huntington's disease, and Duchenne muscular dystrophy can be reliably screened in embryos, the idea of predicting intelligence from the embryo's genome remains speculative. For example, current models explaining cognitive ability using polygenic scores explain only about 5 to 10% of the variation in intelligence across individuals. One expert estimated that selecting the highest IQ embryo might yield only 3 to 4 extra IQ points on average. And there are additional complications. Many of these tests are based on European ancestry genetic data, so the predictions may not be valid for everyone. So when a company tells you to choose the smartest baby, what they are really selling is hope, not guarantee. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Bioethicists warn that this looks a lot like the next phase of eugenics, the wealthy buying access to better babies. As Hank Greeley from Stanford said, the rich people create a genetically super caste that takes over and the rest of us are pros. This raises questions. Are we reinforcing inequality? Are we treating children as products? Are we assuming that high IQ is the only or main path to a good life? Even more, by selecting embryos for traits like high IQ, we might inadvertently select for other unwanted traits because genes are deeply interconnected. We also must ask, what happens when everyone expects optimal children? Is there a moral obligation to optimize? Or is choosing good enough actually more responsible? So, what does this mean for you and me? If you're a prospective parent, or maybe thinking about how technology will shape our future society, here are a few reflections. First, focus on what we can do now. Environment, nurturing, education, relationships still matter far more than raw genetic scores. Second, ask questions thoroughly before subscribing to a high-tech promise. What is being optimized? Who gets access? What assumptions are being made? Third, from a social perspective, we should debate regulation, fairness, and access. If only the wealthy can afford these super baby services, we risk creating a biologically stratified society. And lastly, just because we can do something doesn't always mean we should, especially when the science is weak, evidences are negligible, and the consequences are broad. Thanks for watching. If you found this story thought-provoking, hit that like button, drop a comment below with your view. Would you pick your child's traits if you could? And don't forget to subscribe to the Grey Matter Files and Lies and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update on mysterious, controversial, and mind-bending stories like this. Until next time, question the story, question the hype. Stay curious.